A woman sat by the roadside with a few bottles of homemade juice neatly arranged in front of her, fighting every day to earn an honest living. Exhausted and worn out, she picked up the first bite of her simple meal, never knowing that hidden inside that single bite was the secret that would change her destiny. At that very moment, a weary woman carrying a heavy sack on her shoulder walked over and slowly knelt beside her. Hunger was written all over her face. Her eyes were filled with desperation, and her hands pleaded in humility as she asked for just a small piece of food. Just imagine, when someone barely has enough to eat themselves, how big must their heart be? Without even a moment of hesitation, the vendor smiled warmly and handed over her own meal. She chose to stay hungry so a complete stranger would not have to. And that wasn't all. As the woman began to leave, the vendor called her back and gently placed a cold bottle of juice into her hands. That is the kind of selflessness that needs no words. But the story doesn't end there. After taking only a few steps, the woman carrying the sack suddenly stopped. She looked down at the bread and the bottle of juice in her hands, and her heart trembled. In that moment, she realized the woman who had shared her food had given away her last bite and the reward of her own hard work to someone she didn't even know. This wasn't just kindness. It was humanity at its highest level. And that was the exact moment when fate changed its course. She immediately turned around and walked back. The expression on her face had completely changed. Looking at the vendor, she softly said, "Close your eyes and hold out your hands." The poor woman stood there, confused and overwhelmed with curiosity. But the moment the woman carrying the sack removed her dirty clothes, the truth was revealed. She was not poor at all. She was a wealthy young woman who had been testing people's genuine compassion. She reached into the sack and pulled out a thick bundle of $100 bills, then gently placed it into the hard-working woman's outstretched hands. The instant the money touched her hands, her entire world changed. Shock, disbelief, and overwhelming emotion rushed through her all at once. She could no longer hold herself together. She fell to her knees, tears of gratitude streaming down her face. Holding the money tightly against her chest, she looked up to the sky and thanked God with all her heart. The kind young woman smiled, embraced her warmly, and quietly walked away. The woman remained sitting by the roadside, clutching the money in her hands, tears of joy filling her eyes as she watched the stranger disappear into the distance. The woman who had transformed her entire life simply because she had shared a single bite of food. Always remember, a last bite shared with a sincere heart is never wasted. Even the smallest act of kindness can bring countless blessings from God. So, viewers, if this beautiful act of kindness and selflessness touched your heart, write humanity in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.